It's 21 degrees in Jacksonville, it's 5 in York, 7 in Dumbarton, and our listener in Puerto Rico, lovely place Puerto Rico, I've been there once, a lovely 30-degree day in Puerto Rico, Key.
Balmy.
This is Teal Talk. I'm Jay Lawrence, still no relation as far as I know. He's Key Ramsorrun, and this is the official Jacksonville Jaguars podcast for the UK and Ireland, powered by Gallagher. Give me more of a reaction, Key.
Whoa! I feel good. I feel.
Do that again, because that sounded just like you'd been, kicked when you weren't expecting it.
I feel powerful, Jay.
Let's start with that. Brand new, exciting news for the podcast going forward. Teal Talk is now presented by Gallagher. Now, Gallagher is the previously partner of the Jaguars UK's JagTag Extra Time program, has recently signed a multi-year extension as lead partner, which will see an expansion of JagTag Extra Time into the Republic of Ireland, into Northern Ireland, Manchester. Key, you remember Andy Scott from the JagTag program? He was on a couple of weeks ago, wasn't he? Lovely man, Andy. I didn't tell him that at the time. Lovely man.
You didn't tell. Well, I texted him after and told him that he was a lovely man. I said, Jay thinks you're a lovely man, Andy.
Good. I'm glad. JagTag Extra Time has engaged with around 380 young people aged 9 to 17 across London since 2021. Now, by offering weekly high-level performance training sessions, the program takes players from JagTag 101 through JagTag and onto elite pathways as well. Now, this is a bit that I really liked our conversation, actually, Key, between us and Andy. He told us that he's confident that a JagTagger will be representing Team GB at the Olympics in flag football in 2028 over in LA. That's big, that, isn't it? I don't know if we made that. Did we make as big a deal as at the time? I feel like we should have done.
We did. I wanted to ask Andy to give us names, but I don't think he would have. So, yeah, next time we have him on, let's get some names. Let's drill him down.
Welcome Gallagher, our new partner, a lead provider of insurance solutions committed to investing in the futures of young people so they can continue to grow and excel. So we are very happy that they are now presenting partner of Teal Talk. Key, it is it's always a big show. Every single week. It's always a big show. But coming up, we speak to a man who's had a pretty decent 7 days, I think it's fair to say, Key.
Yeah.
We speak to Walker Little. He's got the new contract and he thought to himself, well, how can I get, a better week than that? How can I improve on the last few days?
He contacted the Jags UK team and said the only way to top this contract is to get on Teal Talk, all 100%. One word.
That's it. That's exactly what happened. It's exactly what happened. So he's going to be on a little bit later. We actually said, we'll see if we've got time. We'll see if we've got time.
We'll squeeze you in, Walker.
See if we've got time. So he's going to be on shortly. Look, we have to talk about the last few days, though. Obviously, it's been a few days since Sunday, so we don't have to get into it too much, but there are some headlines from the last few days, Key. First of all, Jags officially eliminated from playoff contention in 2024 after that 23-20 loss to the Houston Texans. Bitter pill to swallow, I think it's fair to say, Key, isn't it? I mean, I don't think any of us were really expecting this to happen at this point in the season.
I mean, at about week 10, I was expecting it to happen.
Okay, I meant before. You know what I mean? I meant before the season started, we weren't expecting this.
No, you're absolutely right. I would not have expected come week 13, 14 to be saying this on our podcast, mate. No, I absolutely wouldn't. If I'm being completely honest, there was a little bit of relief to be mathematically eliminated, because now I feel like let's focus on the future of this franchise. Let's see what we can get done for the rest of the season. There's no more pressure other than let's focus on the positives, build on that, and see where we can go from here. So completely honestly, there was, yes, absolutely gutted. Obviously, you don't want to be 2-10. But there's also a little bit of relief that actually, let's move on now, man.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. It's just sort of a weird point, though, regardless. I think that Jacksonville Jaguars, I mean, we all thought that the team were going to do, could do big things this year. Hasn't quite worked out that way. But as you say, it's just moving on. And it's trying to enjoy the football as well over the next few weeks. I think that's important as well, because the football season's short, so at the end of the day, what's the point in wishing away the football season come week 13 or whatever, yes, the Jags aren't going to be in the playoffs in 2024, but that doesn't mean that we can't enjoy the football. That doesn't mean that we can't, at this point, stop worrying about the big picture, I suppose, and just start, looking at the players that we are grateful for, that have been, standouts this year, players that we've spoken about throughout the season. So let's just try and enjoy the next few weeks. So I'll speak on this really quickly, actually, because over the last few days, it's been a big talking point, actually, not just in the Jacksonville Jaguars community, fan base or whatever, but in terms of football in general. Trevor Lawrence, he's out injured for multiple games. He comes back in. We're all hyped. We get to see my namesake again playing football. And then he goes out from what was a massive illegal hit from Aziz Al-Shair as Trevor was sliding down.
Yeah.
And look, I don't think I can say anything that people haven't heard over the last few days, except to say that it was appalling, in my opinion. There is no way that Jags aside, Trevor Lawrence aside, there is no way that an NFL player should be tackling like that.
Nope.
With that later hit to the head. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Jay, first things first.
I could go off for ages on this, to be honest,
yeah,
but I'm choosing not to.
You and I can't say anything that hasn't been said before, in all likelihood, except to put 2 pence worth in, which is to say, absolutely gross.
Yeah, absolutely gross. Trevor has, he's now in the concussion protocol after leaving that game. He sent out a tweet as well, saying his appreciation for the support, that he's going to be okay. That was on the Sunday as well, which is always good.
Dude, amazing to see him getting up and walking to the medical cart after that. Awful hit.
Yeah. Mac Jones comes in though.
Hey,
I don't know why I'm laughing. Mac Jones comes in after a few games. Well, let's be honest. The offense wasn't buzzing, was it?
Nope.
It wasn't buzzing. He had his best 3 quarters as a Jaguar in that game. It looked like the Texans were going to run away with it actually at one point. Let's be honest. But the Jags managed to come back into it, and that's partially, well, mostly I suppose, because of Mac Jones and and the offense as well. One touchdown to Brian Thomas Jr., a touchdown to Parker Washington as well, who was all over the place, I think, actually, in the game as well.
Parker Washington was like 100 yards plus. It was fantastic to see both of those two stepping up, and also fantastic to see what hopefully is the start of Mac getting some confidence and turning his season around as well.
Yeah, exactly. Now, look, the next game is going to be against the Tennessee Titans. So actually, it's 2 division games back to back, isn't it? I just had the Texans. Titans going to be the next one. We are going to speak about that game, of course, a little bit later on. You will get our predictions in the game too. Right? Don't know if you want it. We never do well.
Regardless.
We never do well at these predictions, to be honest with you. We'll be going on to the Tennessee Titans game. We'll be going on to the big question with a Jacksonville Jaguar fan from the UK and Ireland as well. Good question this week. I mean, they're always good questions, but this week is a very good question as well. We'll be getting to that. First, though, let's talk to the offensive lineman of the hour. A man who's just signed that massive new contract to stay with the Jacksonville Jaguars for the next few years. Let's hear from our conversation with Walker Little. Okay, joining Teal Talk this week, a man who's actually had quite a decent last few days, I think it's fair to say. Walker Little, congratulations on the contract, man. How's it feeling?
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's great. Super happy to be back here in Jacksonville for a few more years, and keep it going.
And I heard it was a bit of a surprise as well, because I know that sometimes contracts can, I suppose, roll out quite quickly. Sometimes it can be the opposite, but for you, it's really been over the last couple of weeks or so, isn't it?
Yeah, I kind of started talking about it over the bye week with our front office here, and then it started to progress pretty quickly after that. I mean, we were in talks, over the last 2 weeks, then definitely right up till obviously game time. It went quickly, so it was good.
Are you going to tell us how you celebrated?
Honestly, nothing too crazy. I mean, after the game, my parents were here, and my fiance, so we all went out to dinner and stuff, but I'm sure there'll be a lot more celebrations once the season's over.
This is the main celebration, is coming on here to talk to us, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hanging out with you too.
Look, you can be honest. We're all friends here. Do what was the first thing that you bought after you signed that contract?
I'll be honest, I haven't really had enough time to buy anything yet.
Ah,
What will
Again,
it
I
be?
think
What
that's going
will
to be
it be?
something that once, I mean, Christmas is going to be a lot tougher this year. Siblings and parents are going to be expecting some better
that's it.
gifts.
That's it. Your
Um,
family were the happiest people.
yeah, I was going to say that the timing honestly did not work out for me in that regard. But after the season, I'll figure something out.
I mean, you're somebody that's played like in multiple different positions on the O line. For you, how have you found settling into the to Jacksonville tackle?
Yeah, it's been good. I mean, I grew up in high school and through college playing left tackle, so it's definitely always been it's my natural or what I've been most comfortable with. Obviously, through the NFL, I've kind of bounced around a little bit, but it's been nice kind of getting back to this position, and obviously just having now a few weeks now, hopefully a few more years of playing it and just getting better and getting more comfortable at it.
Actually, you mentioned there, we spoke about a little bit about your family. We speak a bit, about how you've been playing the position, in high school and stuff. Can you talk a little bit about your family? Actually, I'm really interested to know what it was like growing up because, you've got family members who, played college ball, they played in the NFL. What was it like? Do you remember like that point where you were like, oh, actually, my aspiration is to be in the NFL, and you had to sort of, talk to your family members about it?
Yeah, I mean, growing up where I did in Texas, I mean, football is a huge thing there. I mean, it is in Florida as well, but definitely
Mm.
huge in Texas. And so I always wanted to play football. I don't know exactly what point. I mean, even when I was a little kid, I was probably 10, 11 years old, and there's a video of me when we were in like kindergarten, so early elementary school, and I got up and everyone was saying what they wanted to be, and people were saying they wanted to be a vet or a doctor or a lawyer and I got up and said I wanted to be a football player. So, I mean, it was always the dream. So it's pretty cool coming full circle, and then obviously now again to continue on for a few more years.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, it's
amazing.
yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, Texas is always. I know Florida's big, as you say, on sports or whatever. But coming from the UK, it's quite hard to grasp. I think Friday Night Lights might be the closest we're ever going to get to
oh
sort
for
of
sure. And
feeling it.
I mean, that's a lot more real than you might even believe. I mean, it's there's definitely a lot of. I mean, I grew up in the city, so it wasn't quite as much like that in Houston. But we played in some small towns, and I mean, the city, the town's shut down, and everybody's out there. So it's pretty spot on.
Um, it's been a bit of a strange season. I think it's probably fair to say for you. I mean, personal highlights, of course, that we've spoken about, but for the actual team itself, it's fair to say it's not been exactly what you'd hoped for, or maybe what you'd imagined. Can you tell us a little bit about what the atmosphere is like within the Jaguars right now after you've officially out of the playoff race?
Yeah, I mean, I would say obviously we've disappointment at how we've performed this year, and obviously like not be able to make the playoffs, not be able to continue on, which is always the ultimate goal in which you put so much effort into. But at the same time, I think this group's done a really good job of just coming together each week. We have a lot of pride, and we think we're a lot better than what our record shows. So we have a great opportunity this week playing Tennessee. And anytime you're playing a division opponent it's pretty easy to get up for. I mean, you play these guys twice a year, every year, so a lot of them. It's less similar faces, and so you always want to play well.
Actually, you know what? We'll speak about Tennessee in a second, but it was Houston last week, which
Mm.
Hmm.
means do you have family and friends that are like rooting against you then? Every
Yeah,
time you
yeah. I
play the
mean, I
Texans,
would say, I would say when I play them, a lot of them probably are like, hope I play well, but want the Texans to win. That's probably the
they
common
text
thing.
they text
But
you in the
yeah,
morning.
yeah, a lot of them, a lot. I'd say a lot more people than usual like watch my games when we're playing the Texans because they're just kind of watching the Texans, and then kind of realize that they're playing the Jaguars and Walker's out there. So
They don't text you afterwards at all, no matter what happens.
some of my friends do, but most of them are more so just positive to me because they know I just won't respond otherwise.
Yeah, like hope you do well in this loss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Walker, so you've played in the UK a few times now,
Yeah.
and with the new contract, how does it feel to know that you're going to be coming back to play in the UK a few more times in the future as well?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I think I definitely love going over there. I think a lot of guys do. Definitely now, how we've done it the past 2 years, we've got to spend doing the back-to-back games and actually time to stay has been a lot better because we actually had time to kind of go around the city and stuff on Monday and Tuesday and just see different parts and just kind of hang out more. Whenever it is just the one game, everything goes pretty quickly. You don't really get a chance to see a whole lot. So these last few years have been really cool, and we really enjoy it. And I would say a big thing too is it's a nice change of weather for us. Usually that time of year it's pretty hot here, so get over to the UK and it's usually in the high 40s, low 50s. It's pretty nice.
Oh, just bear in mind that we absolutely hate the fact that you said that. Like, coming from somewhere where it is literally 0 degrees centigrade
nodding and
right
smiling,
now.
Nodding and smiling.
We'd love some beach weather right now. And what's the as you say, you get a little bit more time when you're in the UK over the past couple of seasons. Has there been a particular highlight, football aside?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously we were able to win a game of the Patriots this year. I think last year was really cool with the Bills game in Atlanta. That kind of really jump-started that part of our season for us last year. I feel like we always play well over there, though. We've won a lot of games over there, and so I'd say there's a lot of great memories both on and off the field over there.
Okay, Titans up next. Presumably you don't have any family or friends that are in Tennessee, so you're all right. Another divisional matchup against the team as well that they won't be particularly pleased with how their season has gone. What sort of opportunity does this give the Jags now coming into the last few weeks of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I just think obviously we're all professionals here. We know it's our job to win, whether you're in playoff contention or not. And like I said before, division rival. You want to play well against them. We want to win, and they want to beat us. I promise you that. I mean, last year they didn't have anything to win in that last game of the season, and they were able to pull out the win, which ultimately ended our season. So I think each team always wants to win, no matter what each team's record is. So it's going to be a great game and a real competitive game.
Walker Little, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. That's our conversation with Walker Little. We love Walker Little, don't we, Keith? And also
love him, and he loves the podcast.
Yes, of course. He does. He got in contact with us. Also a man that has 2 surnames.
Walker. Oh, yes.
You see what I'm saying? Good. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have 4 first names, but he has 2 surnames.
You have 4 first names?
I have 4 first names.
Maybe
2 middle names,
if you two got married, you could swap and share.
Yeah, let's try and make his week even better. I'll propose.
It's good news after good news for Walker Little.
Okay, let's do time for this. It's Duval Dispatches with me. Oh, I forgot. It's all about the Christmas puns at this point, isn't it, Key? Okay, let's start again.
You topped yourself last week, mate. That was superb.
Christmas music on the go. It's Duval Dispatches. Sorry, it's Duval Dispatches with me, Slay Lawrence, and Key Ramsorrun, Rudolph Run.
I was hoping for new ones, not just repeats of the same old.
We are under Slay. The 12 Days of Tealmas competition is oh, this is funny. Wait, let me this is good. For complete clarity, this is written by producer Simon, and we haven't seen this before. We are under Slay. The 12 Days of Tealmas competition is a Santastic or Santa-astic. Doesn't work. Doesn't work, that one.
I'll be writing to Simon later.
It's a fantastic opportunity to get your woolly mittens on gifts from us to you. It's so much fun. You will not want to mistletoe this one.
Simon, do better.
For the first time ever, the Jaguars UK and Ireland are launching a tremendous Christmas competition. 12 days of Christmas, 12 competitions, 12 amazing prizes, signed jerseys, signed footballs, a throwback jersey. So if you are a wise man or woman, go to Jags UK and IE on X, Facebook and Instagram right now. I know we've got all the Christmas puns, Keith.
Let's put it this way, Jay. Let's put it this way. The prizes are better than the puns.
The prizes are. Well, that's the thing. The prizes are ridiculous.
Legit good. Like,
they're ridiculous.
I would totally be entering this competition.
They haven't... Yeah. Jags haven't said to us once, would you like one? That's what I'm just putting out there. Just put out there. 12 amazing prizes. Go to Jaguars UK and IEX, Facebook and Instagram right now. Of course, you can listen to this podcast. You can watch this podcast on YouTube, but we also have a TV show, don't we, Key? So what is on the Sky show with Reece Parkinson this week? How we can listen? Where can we? Oh, how can we watch? Where can we watch? Etc.
We can watch it on Sky Sports NFL. It's on every Wednesday night at 9 p.m, repeated throughout the week, and then everything gets put up on the Jaguars UK YouTube channel after that. Now, this week, we've got the highlights of the Texans game, including that rally towards the end. Then JP and Reece break it down after that. Tony and JP will preview the Titans game coming up this Sunday. Highlight for me is Reece sitting down for a nice long interview with newly engaged long snapper Ross Matasic, and a particularly funny joke that I wrote for Reece to say.
Oh, I can't ask. I don't want to give it away. I was going to ask what it is, but I can't.
I can't give it away.
Don't do it.
You're going to have to watch, mate.
So Sky Sports NFL repeats on there, and of course you can watch it on YouTube as well. Voting is live on Jaguars.com for the Pro Bowl. Now this is your time to vote for your favourite Jag. Is there somebody right now, Key, that like you think maybe they should get a vote?
I'll give you one guess as to who would get my vote.
Does his name rhyme with Schmein, Schmommer, Schmunya?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, does it not?
No, he would be second. It rhymes with...
Flan Little?
Yes.
Okay. Well done. Jaguars.com if you would like to put your vote across. You can vote for either of those two or whoever you like. All right, we'll get to the Fan of the Week next. If you would like to be featured as our Fan of the Week, get in touch via the media drop-down on jaguars.co.uk and we will add you to the list and maybe we can get you on the podcast before the end of the season. Let's go to it, shall we? Jags fan James Richardson, what is the big question?
Hi, guys. So I'm just wondering, what positions do we need to improve before the Jags become a playoff team?
Okay, good question. A very pertinent question, of course, after the last few days.
Yeah.
And one, actually, I think that, a lot of fans have probably been mulling throughout the season as well, Key. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, you're not impressing anyone with use of big words like pertinent.
I was thinking it when I said it. I was
No.
like, I wonder if anyone's going to comment on my use of pertinent.
Who do you think you are? James, in all honesty, right, you could possibly say any possible position this season because they haven't played well enough. And here's the truth. They will be the first ones to say that they haven't played well enough. But I'm going to pick one area. And I think the area that we've let ourselves down in possibly the most this season has been defensive ends. Defensive ends, I think pass rush, not good enough. Run defense, not good enough. I think that area needs massive improvement next year if we're going to be contenders.
But do you think it needs massive improvement, or do you think that, because on paper, those players, that's good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm not saying we need new players. I'm saying they need to play better.
Okay. James, don't pretend that you haven't been thinking about an answer to this. You got to give me yours.
Yeah, that surprises me. I'm going to be honest. There's been weeks where Hines, Allen, Walker as well haven't been at their best, but I think they've carried us at times a little bit. I'm a big believer of American football is often it's won and lost in the trenches, right? And I think very much so with the Jags defense, there's times where the pass rush and the D-line have carried us. For me, the most obvious position, sorry to interrupt, but what is carrying on a team that's won 2 games? Do you know what I mean?
Several games over 100 yards on the ground given up. That just isn't good enough.
Yeah, but when you're on the field for 80% of the game, that's not so bad. I think hell's teeth. This defense, they're playing week in, week out, the majority of total snaps of the game because the offense can't stay on the field for more than 30 seconds. I think it's harsh reality of the situation. I must say, I completely agree with you about run defense. I think we are a terrible open field tackling side. I think we have been for a number of years. I think there's players that can tackle. Boyluakon stands out. Chadman are not bad. There's others which really can't, and especially our defensive backs, our secondary, as soon as any half decent runner, be that running back or receiver, gets into them, I don't really rate him, but to an extent, Cisco can tackle. I think the others really struggle, and that's just we get so exposed in the secondary, be it running. I also think passing as well. Some of the separation that we leave is almost criminal. So I appreciate what you're saying about defensive ends, but I think there's way more. There's way more we've got to look at
What would
first.
you choose if you just have that one position group then?
Oh, 100% the secondary needs to improve. But I mean, really, I mean, 3 weeks ago, I'd probably still be looking at the O line. I do think the O line actually has improved over the season. I don't think, based on the draft class as well, we're going to get any superstars which are gonna really improve our O line. I think I would hope that they can get to an extent where they're good enough, because I really rate Trevor Lawrence. I think he's not the best quarterback in the league. I think he's an underrated quarterback. I think he does really good things. Yeah, he makes mistakes. Yeah, he threw that one a few weeks ago. I can't remember who we were playing, but when we were
Philly.
going, was it Philly? Yeah, we're going on the winning drive. We're
Yeah.
going like down the field, he marched down the field, he threw that interception to left hand side. Yeah, that's a bad mistake, but he also can carry us at times, and he can, if he has and when he does have a half decent operating O line, he can work wonders. If a
I
receiver
think,
can have a good, sorry, Joe, if the
hang
receivers
on.
can have a good game catching, so like Brian Thomas Jr. on his day, like the Bears game, that was horrendous. But they're not good. We've got good receivers. Evan Ingram, Brian Thomas Jr. They can catch. They can make plays. Christian Kirk, I'm not the biggest fan, but on his day, he's good. Running backs, yeah, when they're healthy, Tank Bigsby, Etienne Jr. That's a great 1-2 punch. I think offense can be there. Just need better discipline and better execution. But I feel like I'm painting a very negative picture. But actually, we've been in games this year. We've gone close. Yeah, we've had weeks where we've been terrible, but I don't think we're that far off.
But I
And
think
No,
I go back to what Keith said though, really, and say, when he was talking about the defensive line, you look at quarterback, you look at running backs, you look at wide receivers, and it's, you know, I'm sort of still thinking like it's September again or August, really, in that that these players are good. And I'm not disputing that in any way, but at the end of the day, they are better than their performances maybe suggest or the results suggest. For my position group, I was going to bring up, different parts of the offense. And it's not because I don't think that those parts of the offense are good. It's just that I recognize that they need to be better. I know there's been injuries with some players, as Christian Kirk is a good example. You know, Gabe Davis maybe has not been the killer of games that maybe some people would have hoped for him to be. But Brian Thomas Jr., meanwhile, maybe people didn't have that many expectations for in his first season, and he's just absolutely surpassed them. Trevor Lawrence, I agree with you. I'm a big believer in Trevor Lawrence as well. But that's not to say that whatever has happened this season with him as quarterback, it has not been fluid. It hasn't been working. Because you just said a moment ago, didn't you, James? Like, if the offense can only stay on the field for, a few snaps at a time, something's not working. Now we know that the players are good, but I'm not a coach. You two aren't coaches. We can only say that something's not quite clicking. So for me, I'd even say, Trevor, I recognize that I do honestly believe that he is the quarterback of the future. He is the franchise quarterback. Jaguars committed to him. But that's not to say that he doesn't need to play better. Is that fair?
I think it's fair. He needs to earn that money. He's just been given a big contract. He needs to earn that. And is 2-10 earning that? Probably not. Trevor is capable
But that's
of
not to
more,
say it's
and he
just
needs
because
to
of
play
him, though,
better.
is it? It's
No,
not
no,
just
no,
because
no,
of
no.
him.
Of course,
That's the thing.
of
Is that
course not.
yeah?
But can Trevor play better than he has been? He will be the first one to say that yes, he can.
How did you get into being a Jags fan, James?
oh, I lived in the Midlands, right?
I
And
naturally became a Jags fan.
I knew no one. I knew no like I literally didn't know anyone there. So I just moved for a job and just sat at home one day, and I think it's like Saturday morning watching the Vernon Kay NFL highlights. And I thought, oh, loved a lot of basketball. My dad was played a lot of basketball to a high level, so loved the NBA. And I thought, I've never really given American football a chance, and just sort of liked that show. Started talking to a few people I knew that liked it. They kind of got me into it. Then went to, I think it was the Bills Jags game. I want to say 2015.
Mm-hmm.
That was our the first game that me and some of the other London Jags supporters club went to. Didn't really know much about the rules, didn't really know much what was going on, but having a good time, having a few drinks. It just sort of went from there, really. Then, yeah, I just kind of followed them since. Still yet to go to Jacksonville, but yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a ride, definitely. So I think it's been about 10 years.
James, the Midlands and Jacksonville are not that different, mate.
They both got the beaches. That's what it is. As you say, you're part of the London Jags supporters club, which means you must have it means you must have a onesie somewhere, right?
I do, sir. Yeah.
What do you do with it?
Whose idea was the onesie?
Yeah.
Who came up with the idea for the onesies?
Oh, do you know what? It was mine because we got that game we went to. I was like, let's just dress up and have a bit of a laugh, right? And then found sort of these dirt cheap onesies from sort of the deepest depths of sort of Chinese eBay or whatever it was. They cost absolutely nothing. And then well, right, let's get a few t-shirts. We had inflatable American footballs, things like that. And we're just sort of tossing them around, and it was a good time. And then it just sort of has grown from there, and more people have got one. I must admit, controversial to say, but I'm not. I think I'm getting a bit old for it now. I'm in the mid-30s, and
Have you washed it? Have you washed it though? Because we asked Molly this, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago? And I don't think she. Actually, I can't remember what she said.
No, neither Molly nor Steve washed their onesies.
Have you washed yours?
That's absolutely disgusting. You get so sweaty in it. So,
that's a yes, then I assume.
Yeah, definitely.
Look, it's the Titans game next, another divisional matchup. James, we give our predictions at the end of every single episode. We have a guest do it every single time, a fan do it every single time. Would you like to give us your score prediction for the Jaguars Titans game?
Oh gosh, yeah, go on. I was impressed with last week. I liked what I saw last week. Let's go 28-24. For
the Jags?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, nice to see you, James. Thanks very much.
Thanks so much, guys. Take care.
Cheers. All right, cheers to James. Good question. And I think, honestly, it's a question that we could have spoken about for an hour, I think.
I don't like being disagreed with. I don't like it.
Well, then I'm surprised that we're still doing this podcast, to be honest, mate. Or maybe I'm too nice to you. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I should change. Should change there. All right, Jags go to Tennessee for another divisional game. We spoke a little bit about it earlier on, didn't we? With Walker. This one's feels like there's a little bit more to it. I mean, Calvin Ridley playing again. Against his former team, first game against his former team, and it's a bit of a weird situation, obviously, because for so long in the off-season, it looked like there was a real possibility that he was going to go back to the Jags. So it's going to be... I'm interested to know what sort of, how it's going to go, to be honest. I'm interested to know how it's going to go.
Yeah, I think Sunday will be an interesting one. They're playing better than they have been.
For sure.
Recently.
And Will Levis as quarterback has definitely improved over the last few weeks as well, I'd say.
Yeah, they're a physical team as well. And interesting just talking to James about the trenches. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out on Sunday, because honestly, right now, I think that's going to be the battle this Sunday, is the trenches and who's going to win the physicality of it all. And also, let's hope what Mac did last Sunday against the Texans, let's hope that is not just a repeat of that, but an improvement on that as well.
I mean, that's what you said a few weeks ago, I remember, didn't you? In the Mac Jones hadn't been playing well, and you basically said to him, look, You know, you need to play better, basically. You need to put it out there. And he comes in unexpectedly in the last game.
Hey, Mac,
mate.
Stop throwing the interceptions, mate.
So that's what you said, didn't you?
And he done it.
He did it.
Listened.
He listened. He was like,
Walker
great
Little
point.
made him listen to his favourite podcast.
He was like, great. That's a really good point by Key that no one's ever said to me before in the last 20-something years. This is a winnable game, though. This is a winnable game, I think it's fair to say. But I think you are right in that the Titans' record doesn't necessarily reflect how they've been playing in some of their games as well. Let's give our predictions in a sec. Let's have a bit of let's work out the current score on the tallies.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
You are getting left in the dust, my friend.
I mean, we all know what I'm on.
Yes. So you're on 2.
Yeah.
The fan is on 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I'm on 5.
Ooh.
So this is going to get a bit dicey, I think. Not dicey. Maybe a bit dicey at the last games of the season.
I'm not mathematically eliminated,
no,
though,
you're
Jay.
not. But we have had numerous meetings. You know, some would say it's summits, some Teal Talk summits. It's been decided that whoever wins the Predictions League gets to take an item of merch from the loser. Key, I know that you have some extremely niche, some extremely what's the word I'm looking for?
It's bespoke
Jags merchandise, and I
Look
do
at my
happen to be
artwork, Jay.
several
it's all
points.
Bespoke.
If you're not watching this, you can see all of all of loads of Key's stuff is behind him on YouTube right now. It is it's not looking good for you. It's not looking good for you.
It isn't. But at the end of the day, I'm in charge of postage. So
yeah, I will post it. Anyway, predictions, please, Key.
do you know what? I really like James's. 28-24 to the Jags, he said. I really like that. I think lower scoring affair. I'm going to go 17-10 to the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road.
Okay, I'm going 17-14 Jags. I thought of it before you said it. It's not like on The Price is Right, where you just have to say like one penny above or whatever. And I think I've got my game shows wrong. Anyway, I'm going 17-14.
Okay.
I think that Mac Jones showed that he's got some life in him.
Yeah.
Why can't he do it against the Titans? Titans are a better team, as I say, than people give them credit for.
Yeah,
but that's not to say that they are not beatable. Jags, you are out of the playoff race. You will not be in the postseason, but that doesn't mean you can't show us what you're about.
I think play with some freedom and let's get a W on Sunday, man.
Do it. And Max, don't throw any interceptions.
Mac, mate.
Stop
Don't
it.
throw any interceptions.
Stop it. Don't do it. Okay. All right. Look forward to Sunday. Look forward to Jags Titans. Keith, thank you so much.
Thanks, baby.
For being with me on the podcast. Teal Talk in partnership with Gallagher has been a Shooting Shark production for Jacksonville Jaguars UK and Ireland. Go subscribe on your podcasts. Go subscribe on the YouTube channel as well, please. We will see you same time next week.